His voice was low, casual. Too casual. She's mine at the office. I didn't turn immediately. I didn't have to. I knew that voice. Smooth, rehearsed confidence wrapped around insecurity. The kind of man who borrowed importance from proximity. The champagne glass in my hand stayed steady, but something inside me shifted. A pause. A ripple under still water. I let the silence stretch before I finally looked over my shoulder. Across the ballroom. Across the artificial laughter and polite clinking of glasses. And there she was, standing beside him, smiling. Not the smile she gave me at home. Not the tired, unguarded one that slipped through late at night. This one was curated, controlled, measured for an audience. For him. He leaned closer to the group, repeating it with a chuckle. My work wife. A few laughs followed. Light, harmless, acceptable. That's what made it dangerous. Because betrayal doesn't arrive screaming. It whispers. And everyone pretends not to hear it. I turned back before anyone noticed me watching. Before she noticed. Before I reacted. Because reacting would mean I didn't already know. And I did. Just not everything. Not yet. It hadn't started tonight. It never does. It starts small. Invisible fractures you convince yourself are just shadows. Late replies. Locked screens. The subtle shift in tone when a name appears on her phone. One she doesn't say out loud anymore. I noticed. Of course I did. I notice everything. But I didn't ask. Asking gives them time to prepare answers. I prefer silence. Silence makes people careless. 3 weeks ago, she started staying late. Quarter-end pressure, she said. 2 weeks ago, she changed her password. Last week, she stopped mentioning him altogether. That's when he became visible. Absence creates outlines. And outlines reveal shapes. So I began my own quiet work. No accusations. No drama. Just observation. Patterns. She always checked her phone at exactly 9:17 p.m. Not before. Not after. Predictable. People in control of secrets always are. I memorized it. Then I tested it. One night, I called her at 9:16. She didn't answer. At 9:18, she texted, "Busy, call you later." A heart. Precision wrapped in affection. I almost admired it. Almost. I didn't confront her. Instead, I adapted. A second phone. A mirrored backup. Silent installations. People think betrayal is emotional. It's not. It's logistical. And logistics leave trails. Messages don't disappear. They relocate. Photos don't vanish. They duplicate. And late one night, sitting in the quiet hum of our living room, I found it. Not everything. Just enough. A message? Him. Same time tomorrow? Her reply came 3 minutes later. Yes, he won't notice. I stared at that sentence longer than I should have. Not because it hurt, but because it was inefficient. Underestimating me was her first mistake. Documenting it was her second. I didn't react. Didn't breathe differently. Didn't move. I just understood. This wasn't impulsive. It wasn't accidental. It was structured. Repeated. Safe in their minds. Which meant one thing. They hadn't been caught. Yet. And that's when the idea settled in. Cold, precise. I wouldn't stop them. I would let it grow. Let it deepen. Let them believe they were untouchable. Because the higher the confidence, the harder the fall. And tonight, watching him smile, watching her stand beside him like nothing had consequences, I realized something important. This wasn't just betrayal. This was arrogance. And arrogance is easy to break. I let the night continue, like nothing had changed. Like I hadn't already seen behind the curtain. He laughed louder as the evening went on. Touched her elbow too casually, stood a little too close. The kind of confidence that only exists when a man believes he's invisible. She didn't stop him. That told me everything I needed. But I wasn't watching them anymore. I was watching the room. Because this wasn't just about them. It never was. Power doesn't expose itself in private. It reveals itself in public. And tonight, the right audience was here. Executives, investors, decision-makers, and one man in particular. The keynote speaker. The one everyone wanted 5 minutes with. I'd already had mine. Weeks ago. Quiet meeting. No announcement. No need. He knew exactly who I was. And more importantly, what I had. So when I walked toward him, I didn't rush, didn't signal urgency, just timing, precision. We spoke like two men discussing nothing important. Light smiles, measured nods. A quiet exchange buried under the noise of the room. But across the floor, he saw me. I felt it before I looked. That sudden stillness, that flicker of recognition turning into something colder. Fear doesn't appear instantly. It creeps in. When something doesn't make sense. I turned slightly, met his eyes, held them, just long enough. His smile disappeared, gone like it had never existed. He leaned toward his boss, whispering something sharp, urgent. I didn't need to hear it. I could read it. We have a problem. Yes, you do. The truth didn't explode. It unfolded. Quietly, efficiently, like it was always meant to. By the time the keynote ended, a small shift had already begun. Subtle questions, private conversations, a file forwarded to the right inbox, documentation, time-stamped, verified, company policy violations, conflict of interest, misuse of resources, and buried deeper, messages, careless ones, arrogant ones, the kind people send when they think no one important is watching. I didn't expose their affair. That would have been emotional, messy, temporary. No. I exposed their judgment, their lack of discipline, their risk. Because companies don't punish betrayal. They punish liability, and they had become one. She found me near the exit. Of course she did. Her breathing was uneven, controlled panic, eyes searching mine for something familiar, understanding, forgiveness, weakness. You're leaving? She asked softly. I nodded. A pause. She stepped closer. Did you talk to him? The speaker? There it was. Fear, finally finding its voice. I looked at her. Really looked. And for a second, I saw it. Not regret. Not guilt. Just realization. She knew. Not everything. But enough. Yes, I said. Nothing more. Her lips parted slightly. Waiting, hoping I'd explain. That I'd fill the silence for her. I didn't. Silence isn't empty. It forces truth to surface. And hers was already drowning. He didn't approach me. He couldn't. By then, his world was already tightening. Phones ringing, faces changing. The quiet shift from inclusion to distance. It happens fast, faster than people expect, especially when the fall is deserved. I didn't stay to watch it collapse. I didn't need to. Some endings don't require an audience. They just require timing and certainty. I walked out into the night air, calm, untouched. No anger, no satisfaction, just clarity. Because this was never about revenge. It was about control, and I never lost it. They just forgot who had it. By the time they understood the damage, I was already gone. And the only thing I left behind was the truth they thought would never find them.